What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, SpazPhoenix, the YWC reality check, and might as well get this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about. Last week I was exhausted. I didn't do much other than Wrestling Paradise with Alex, where we were both exhausted, but there's a lot to talk about, and it's not just about Hell in the Cell, but it's mostly about Hell in the Cell. Couple things to knock out of the way. 10 more days to get your questions in for my November Q&A. I'm already at 166 questions, guys. You guys are friggin' ridiculous, and I love it. Seriously, right here, thank you to all of you. You guys are awesome. Also, another thank you to all of you guys. I am rapidly climbing up on 400 subs. That is ridiculous. Love it. Again, thanks to you guys. Big shout out to NJ and Mr. Park and the British Fish, who just reached their 2,000th subscriber. Those guys deserve it. They're fucking phenomenal. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know who they are, I can speak, I swear, you should go check them out. I'm going to put their links in the description box below. If you want to go back one video, if you guys are ever curious as to, you know, what the fuck else does Spaz get up to other than being a wrestling fan, check out the video I posted earlier today. That's photos and videos from the 10th annual Toronto Zombie Walk. Anybody that knows me knows I love Halloween, I love this season, I love fucked up movies, I love zombies. I love The Walking Dead. I like Resident Evil. I like the whole Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead, anything of the dead. And Toronto, which I am kind of close to, and I will use that as the reference point because wrestling fans know Toronto. Wrestling fans don't know Brampton. Nobody knows. I don't even want to know Brampton. But Toronto has a zombie walk. Oh, yes. Multiple thousands of people dressed like blood and gore dripped zombies roaming the streets of downtown metropolis Toronto. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. There's lots of pictures. Go back one video. Unfortunately, on our route, somebody was trying to have a wedding. Their limo was a bit messy when we all walked by. That was kind of, you know, whatever. But it was a lot of fun. It's the only video I have on here that's not about wrestling so far, so there's a milestone in its own right, I guess. But enough clusterfucking around. Let's talk about Raw. Let's talk about the go-home show to Hell in the Cell. The pay-per-view that everybody decided weeks and weeks and weeks ago that they didn't give a shit about. And can't really argue, but if I can say this, the go-home show was more exciting than I expect the pay-per-view to be. Now, that says really, really awesome things for Raw or really, really bad things for the pay-per-view. I will leave it to you to decide. I will not tell you what to think. But we get off right off the bat, right off and running. We start the show with the finals of the tag team tournament, which is awesome because there were rumors floating around all week because Ray was not feeling well or he was dealing with illnesses and injuries or whatever, that they might have to forfeit, which would have been a really, really lame way late into the pay-per-view. But they put on a hell of a match, and they were against Rhodes Scholars. Cody Rhodes, who you all know I'm very high on, he's in my Fave 5, and Damian Sandow, who's absolutely fucking useless. Oh, yes. Anybody that followed me on Twitter tonight knew I was doing one of these. I was very high on this show, and then I was very, very low on this show. Shout out to Regina, who I was having a lot of conversations with, otherwise known as the Nature Girl 30, who I was having a lot of conversations with about Raw tonight. A lot of Twitter high fives, so to speak, being exchanged between us. Love chatting her up. There's a shout out for you, hon. Shout out to Preston as well, because we also exchanged a few barbs. I think I implied that Rey Mysterio was going to be in a jobber battle royal on the pre-show, and I'm surprised I still, you know, have a head. Moving on. We start off, there are no mixed masks this week with Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, which was kind of a bummer, because I like those. As they're coming down to the ring, interesting thing, Jim Ross runs down all the different partners that Rey Mysterio has been tag team partners with. That was a really, really cool building thing. There was a lot of double teaming. The match was basically carried by our buddies in masks, and Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes, even though I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes, didn't do fuck all other than a couple random beatdown in the corner spots. We have a double team X Factor on Rhodes by Ray and Sin Cara. We have a spot where Rhodes saves Sandow from the 619, but for his efforts he ends up eating a suicide dive from Sin Cara. We have this weird looking spot where Ray is holding Sandow up in midair for Sin Cara to hit a decent looking springboard. Yeah, I can read my writing, I swear. Springboard moonsault, like from the ropes to Sandow, who's being held up in midair. That was a nice spot. We have a nice little split-legged RVD style splash by Rey Mysterio, which I thought was really cool. Double 619. Ray goes for the pin, Sandow blocks the pin, and in the only real noticeable bit of offense in the entire match, Cody Rhodes hits Crossroads, and Rhodes Scholars win. Basically, Cody Rhodes hits the Crossroads and carries Damien Sandow to a pay-per-view match. Just saying. Fantastic match. Kane and Daniel Bryan up on the Titantron like comedic little goofs. Are you guys gonna win? We've got 2 words for you. Hell no! Oh, what happened to you guys? We have a video package of the WWE's first tour of Egypt, which was kind of cool. We have Kofi Kingston versus Michael McGillicuddy with Miz on commentary. Oh, itchy nose, guys. Sorry about that. Kofi Kingston versus Michael McGillicuddy. I can speak. I swear I'm going to get the t-shirt. Yeah. Miz is on commentary. Jim Ross and his conversation with The Miz was really, really cool because Jim Ross wasn't at all putting down The Miz. He was actually putting him up and putting him over in certain spots in the conversation while still being the commentator that's talking to the cocky heel, and it worked quite well. Mike McGillicuddy pounded the crap out of Kofi Kingston for most of this match. Out of nowhere, we pull a Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi gets the win. Miz versus Ryback is announced for later tonight, and my immediate thought is, okay, this guy just had his head split open, and he's got a title match on Sunday. You know, let's put him with Ryback. Oh yes. We replay the contract signing for Ryback versus Punk from last week's Raw with Vince and Cena and everybody, you know, having a wonderful time because we have to get Cena on the show as much as possible. Cena comes out for his big explanation of why he's supporting Ryback. Basically, if I wasn't taking notes and trying to like keep track of what I wanted to say, like honestly guys, I would tune out when Cena comes to cut a promo, because it's always the same. Kisses the New York City and New Jersey City fans' asses, kisses the New York Giants' asses, puts down Punk, kisses Ryback's ass, kisses Vince's ass, and names Ryback the new face of the WWE. Are you fucking kidding me? Punk comes out in beautiful, pristine Punk fashion, calls him out on all his ass kicking, points out that the biggest and best change in the WWE in the past few years is how long it has been since Cena has been champion. Like it a lot. Vows to walk out of the Hell in the Cell as champion. Calls Cena Ryback's cheerleader, and not only that, goes as far as to say you're Ryback's cheerleader because you finally accepted that you can't get it done yourself. Oh yes. Cena calls Punk out to the ring because he's 100%, which absolutely, you know, shoots Ryback in the foot because it proves that there's no point to having Ryback in the match on Sunday, but whatever. Punk's about to fight Cena, and the best line out of Heyman in this particular segment is, you are the champion, you don't fight for free. Love it. Love it. I love that Paul Heyman is becoming CM Punk's Don King. I really, really do. A lot. Antonio Cesaro versus Justin Gabriel, which is a match we've seen before, and I don't mind seeing again, especially when you see where it goes. There's your hint. Oh, yes. Gabriel starts with a dive over the top while Antonio's doing his multiple language bullshit. Antonio does a great job of grounding him pretty quick, slams Gabriel's sternum first into the turnbuckle, which is a nice little spot. Turnbuckle powerbomb on the other side of the ring. They battle at the top for a little while. Cesaro takes the fall, 450 splash, gets the win for Gabriel. Oh yes, happy kid, right here. We go to the back, we see AJ and Vince show up. And that's weird because, you know, Vince kind of looks like a babysitter, but whatever. Vince comes out and announces that they've had a big emergency meeting at the, you know, Stamford, Connecticut head office, da-da-da-da, and I'm going to let AJ tell you in her own words what happened. AJ announces that she has resigned her post as the GM of Raw, what, like 12 weeks in? Because of allegations of her fraternizing with another superstar. She goes into this big, long, emotional diatribe about how she used to live out of her car, da-da-da-da. She never thought she was going to play out this lifelong goal, lifelong dream of hers. Thanks, everybody. Has this big mini breakdown in the middle of the ring, hugs Vince, thanks him for the opportunity. Heyman comes out, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Mocks her sad life story, mocks her intelligence, mocks her education, mocks her class, mocks her upbringing, and then suggests to Vince McMahon that he should be the new GM, and Vince cuts him off with a quick no, where you almost would think he was Daniel Bryan. We have a new managing supervisor of Raw, and it is Vicky Guerrero, and I head desk fucking hard. Heyman comes out, he kisses Vicky's ass. He asks her to remove the Ryback versus Punk match from Hell in the Cell. She says no, she's gonna make history, da-da-da-da-da, like they all are. CM Punk versus Sheamus tonight, because that's never happened before. Champion versus champion, because that's never happened before. Lumberjack match, because that's never happened before. And it's going to be the biggest one in Raw history, which basically means we're going to liquidate the locker room and have everybody stand around for a while, which is amazing. Heyman leaves. Vicky starts talking down to AJ, says, you know, I know you were not just fraternizing with another superstar, I know you had an all-out affair, tells her that she's disgusting and deplorable and all this, and she needs to leave the ring. AJ gets the awesome psycho AJ smirk on her face and beats the living hell out of Vicky Guerrero. Made me smile. Next, we have Ryback versus The Miz, which is a bullshit squash that I'm not going to talk about. Moving on. In the back, we hear Eve bashing AJ to whoever she's talking to on the phone. We never really know. Whenever they're talking to somebody on the phone, we never find out who it really is. It's just them shooting their mouth off, really. Caitlyn calls her out as for being her attacker a couple months ago, the one that cost her the tag team title, or not. Wow. The Divas title shot that she had. Says, I took a picture of your iPad and I have the proof that I need and blah, 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 blah. But bottom line, toss Layla into the mix and we have a backstage catfight. By God, it's been a while, and I was happy to see that too. Oh yes, please let this be a triple threat match on the pay-per-view. I don't care if it's on the pre-show. Please. I'm just saying, WWE, throw me a bone here. Throw me a fucking bone. That should be the main event over Sheamus versus Big Show. Just saying. Daniel Bryan versus Ziggler. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Great match. I didn't write any notes for the first half of this match. I started writing notes when Daniel Bryan got the figure 4 on Ziggler. Daniel Bryan lands hard on the outside. Looks like he's tweaked his knee. Kane comes to ringside to see if he's alright, more or less. Traps Ziggler in the corner for a dropkick where Ziggler's really got nowhere to go, and he lands hard on the outside. Ziggler back in the ring, gets knocked into the turnbuckle so hard he eats post, lands hard on the outside once again, and gets a suicide dive from Daniel Bryan. It's a great night for suicide dives, isn't it? Oh, yes. Ziggler gets a top rope X-Factor on Daniel Bryan, hits a second rope zigzag on Daniel Bryan, and Ziggler beats Daniel Bryan. Oh, yes. It's a good night. Hell No, the members of Team Hell No fighting with each other, da-da-da-da. Stryker comes out looking scared as shit, announces that Vicky's brand new idea for them. They're going to have their own version of the Newlyweds game, and they're going to call it the Newly Tagged game. And it's going to be a quiz show, so how much you know about your partner, da-da-da-da, against Rhodes Scholars. They bicker amongst themselves. Rhodes Scholars say that they're not going to participate. Daniel Bryan calls himself the winner. Matt Stryker insults Team Hell No once he's safely up the ramp. Big Show randomly comes out for his match against Kane. Big Show throws Matt Stryker off the stage, and we move on. I'm not going to talk about the game show. Why? Perfectly fine fucking match, and then, yeah. Anyways, Kane and Show is nothing really to write home about. typical slow, high-impact, big guy match. Rhodes and Sandow distract Kane. KO punch gets Big Show the win. Show gets the win. Rhodes and Sandow beat down Bryan after the match. Team Hell No is left laying. Santino is in the back trying to cheer up AJ. Then Cena is in the back trying to cheer up AJ. He says, we gotta fight this, we gotta fight this, we gotta find this guy that you've been accused of screwing around with, and da-da-da-da. And, in her really bad acting way, she looks up at Cena, but it's you! They accused me of having an affair with you! And Cena loses his shit. Cena confronts Vince because he's Cena and he can do that apparently. Then we have Alberto Del Rio versus Ryder, which makes me smile because Alberto Del Rio owns Ryder for a while. After Ryder misses the boot, we have the cross arm breaker. Alberto Del Rio gets the win and mangles the hell out of Zack Ryder's arm after the match. Not much to write home about, but it made me smile. Cena confronts Vicky, and Vicky proceeds to put Cena in his place. And I laugh a lot. Oh, yes. Then we go to a backstage interview. Separate from Vicky, we have Dolph Ziggler over here, mockingly saying how much he's going to miss AJ, etc. And then he starts talking shit about John Cena. And I'm thinking, please do this. If John Cena's supposedly 100%, send him to Hell in the Cell and try to look like a decent performer against Dolph Ziggler. I want to see it. Unfortunately, that did not formulate. And then we had the, I can read my writing, I swear. Punk versus Sheamus in the biggest lumberjack match in history, and it's got Sheamus in it. So as much as Punk tried, this was kind of boring as fuck. Just saying. Sheamus gets tossed out on the outside. None of the lumberjacks touch him because, he's the second coming of John Cena. Punk comes out and he gets tossed out of the ring and he's not so lucky. Eventually they start going after Sheamus as well, but, that just leads to the lumberjacks arguing amongst each other and having little brawls in on the outside. We have a few run-ins by a few of the heel lumberjacks in the melee. Big Show chokeslam. Sheamus. Punk gets the win and Ryback comes out and owns the fuck out of CM Punk. I know. I'm not even gonna say anything anymore. I'm still not scared about this Sunday, but this was it was a bad way to end the show. I'm just gonna say that. But that being said, I'm not gonna let a bad ending change the fact that there was a whole lot in this show that I really, really liked. Hence the score, the fail, the MVP, the fave 5, the shit list, etc., 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 and all the other categorized crap that I do on this doomy clipboard right here. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm not organized at all. There we go. They didn't win their match, but Rey and Sin Cara owned the opening match. Like, it can't be denied. Go back and watch the match and try to tell me I'm wrong. You can't do it. Jim Ross being, sort of impartial and kind of putting over The Miz on commentary, putting over, what The Miz could do if he had beaten Ryback and that sort of thing. Punk owning Cena on the mic as usual, and along with that goes, Ziggler owning Cena on the mic. Vince kind of tossing off John Cena like he didn't really give a fuck, and Vicky owning John Cena backstage, which was all very, very amazing. Gabriel gets more TV time and a win over a champion. Yes, it's the U.S. title, and the U.S. title ain't worth the tin that it's, punched on or whatever, but give the guy a belt and give him some TV time. God fucking damn it. AJ's not the GM anymore, and this is in my score, and I will tell you why. Because she's a psycho character, and a psycho character should be competing in the ring. AJ needs to get back into the Divas division. She can go against Eve, she can go against Caitlyn, she can go against Layla, she can go against whoever. Bring back Karma. I still want to see AJ versus Karma, but that's just, on my bucket list. We had not only did we have a backstage segment, or a backstage brawl, which doesn't happen too often anymore, it was a cat fight. And not only was it a cat fight, it was a 3-way cat fight. Oh yes, very much a lot of fun. Ziggler versus Bryan, on a more serious note, was a fantastic match, and Jim Ross even said it on Raw tonight during the commentary of that match. Can you imagine what will happen if these two end up building a long-standing feud? I'll drop money to see it. I'm just saying. Fail. Bryan and Kane continue to be lame. I'm disappointed with where Kane is. I'm disappointed with where Bryan is. I'm disappointed with, where they are taking the tag team championships. Yes, yeah, they're main eventers. They're putting more focus on the title. But what are we focusing on? We're focusing on goofball bullshit. And what have they created? They have created the theme of mashed up tag teams, so no tag teams will ever get a chance at anything ever. Oh yes. You know, people complain, you know, it's common knowledge. We all fucking hate Cobra, but you know who you can blame for Cobra? Team Hell No. Oh, yes, you know who you can blame for the Rhodes Scholars? No, 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 no. Hell no. Oh, yes, the only mashed up team that's working at all is Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio, and you just eliminated them tonight. Yeah. Moving on. Kofi Kingston versus Michael McGillicuddy. And I'm not saying this as a bash on Kofi Kingston. I'm not saying this as a bash on Michael McGillicuddy. What I'm saying is the layout of this match didn't make any sense. Because McGillicuddy owned the hell out of Kofi Kingston for the good majority of this match. He looked like it was having a bit of a brawl and overpowering him, etc., etc., etc. He whips out one kick, much like Rhodes Scholars with Cody Rhodes' Crossroads, whip out one move to finish off the match. And then Kofi did the same thing in the next match. It wasn't a good way to start the show because it led to trends and other things and whatever. I didn't like it. Now, did either one of them look bad in the match? Absolutely not. Am I bashing McGillicuddy? No. Am I bashing Kofi Kingston? No. I'm a fan of both of them. Kofi Kingston, the match, and I said this on Wrestling Paradise with Alex, I'm a Miz fan. After the match that Kofi Kingston put on, I'm totally okay with him being Intercontinental Champion. No problem whatsoever. My boy The Miz will resurface and do something, it'll be all good. But the layout of the match bothered me, if that makes sense. So I'm not hating on anybody, I don't want any spam in the comments. I'm hating the layout, not either of the talents, whatever. Vicky as the general manager. Now here's why. I didn't like it when she was the general manager of SmackDown. And we haven't yet established where this leaves Dolph Ziggler. If this leads to Vicky and Ziggler parting ways, and Ziggler going off and doing his own thing, then I will put up with Vicky in the annoying general manager role for the sake of Ziggler being off on his own. If it means that she's going to drag him with her and her power placement, whatever, and she's going to have the same effect that she had on Edge. Yes, Edge was a superstar. Edge was the world champion, but there was always that shadow of, oh my god, he's got the belt because the general manager keeps protecting him, and I don't want that for Dolph Ziggler. I really, really don't. He needs to go out on his own. If they're going to make me put up with Vicky as the general manager of Raw, or the supervising special agent manager, whatever the fuck they're calling it now, at least let the payoff be that she's going to separate from Ziggler. That's all I'm going to say. The game show was lame, enough said. John Cena. And I know. Spaz, of course, John Cena's in your fail column. It's John fucking Cena. But here's the thing. He was out. He hasn't had a match or done anything useful. Well, he hasn't done anything useful in years. But he hasn't had a match or done anything of any importance since he got injured. He's not in the title match on Sunday, but yet he is the one, John Cena is the one that they're building the Punk-Ryback rivalry around. And I know, John Cena has to stay in the main event. He has to stay relevant. He has to be the guy. You know, he's not the champion or the challenger, but he still has to be the guy, and I get that. So not only is he still the centerpiece of the title picture, he's also running around in 3 or 4 or 5 backstage segments playing hero for AJ Lee now. So John Cena's an inactive competitor for all intents and purposes, and we're getting him more than ever. Fuck off. Anyways, let's go to the shit list. Sheamus lost tonight. That makes me a happy kid. Santino didn't even compete tonight. That makes me a happy kid. Neither did Clay. That makes me a happy kid. Thanks to Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow won, and the Big Show won against Kane, but, you know, Kane's a goofball right now, so I can't even really complain about that, can I? Punk got the win. Miz got squashed, which is bullshit, but whatever. Obviously, he fucked somebody's wife again. Rhodes won. Ziggler won a fan-fucking-tastic match, and Orton, unfortunately, wasn't on the show tonight. MVP of the night, and here's the first time I'm going to do this. I have a major MVP and a minor MVP, because they both had breakout performances tonight. The major one, obviously, is Dolph Ziggler, not only for putting on a phenomenal match, but for actually being allowed to win for once. Oh, yes, go show off. The little one, the minor one, I gotta show some love for Justin Gabriel. First of all, getting onto Raw. Second of all, having a somewhat more than one match feud with a champion. Third of all, beating that champion. And yes, once again, it's a little thing because it's only the US title and it's only Antonio Cesaro. But it's better than nothing. It gets him out of the NXT Superstars trap. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there was a lot of crap in this match, but every time I just thought that the crap couldn't get any worse, I got something awesome. So, guys, I really don't know what to say about this show other than, you know, it happened. Hell in the Cell's gonna happen this Sunday. All things being equal, me and Alex will be doing Wrestling Paradise Thursday or Friday. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about what I have to say, as it always is. Check out Regina, check out the British Fist. Congrats to those guys once again. Go back if you want to see me slaying zombies. Go back a few more videos if you've got questions for my Q&A. If you personally don't think that 166 questions are enough for my November Q&A, go toss some more on. I dare ya. Last time I dared somebody, they sent me 100 questions. Purple is 100 of those 166 questions. So yeah, I'm tossing out another challenge. If you guys don't think 166 is enough, I dare you to throw on more questions. That's right. I am a video-making masochist. I am your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep this conversation going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. Have a good week, have a good weekend, have a good Hell in the Cell. If it doesn't suck. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Get up, come on,